Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Golden Falls, Golden What If, whatever you want to call me, and I am back. I'm back with the finale of What If Deku Was Wolverine. And as always, if you enjoy, make sure to leave a like, make sure to leave a sub, make sure to leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. Show some love. And yeah, I don't really got much to say, and we're just gonna start exactly where we left off, and that's about it. Let's get right into the what if. Let's get it. Izuku Midoriya is more than just himself now. Izuku Midoriya has changed a far bit from the very beginning. In the beginning, he might have been some sort of military weapon, someone that was bred for combat. But now, he's utilized in a far different way. Combat might be one of the reasons, but it seems that All For One has a bigger and better plan for Izuku than the military ever had. All For One's plan is domination, world domination, but it all starts with Japan. A war would ensue far quicker than anyone could possibly imagine, and that war would be fronted by Izuku. But there would be something hidden far, far away, a secret weapon, in fact, right for the heroes. The heroes may have gotten their weapons on a stroke of luck. Izuku would face down the heroes, including many other villains. Izuku would lead the charge with Shigaraki close by, Gigantomachia, and many others, monstrous creatures that are ready for a fight. But Izuku wouldn't believe what he saw when he sees the same people he saved years ago. The same people that he wanted to be safe, to be put away, and to never have to deal with this ever again. But that Izuku that saved them back then was a different Izuku. An Izuku that didn't have his brain tampered by All For One. An Izuku that's basically has been changed to the point where he's not necessarily a mindless beast. He's actually a beast that is tame, a beast that has his own outlooks changed to the fact that it now aligns with All For One's. So when the armies come knocking and Izuku comes out to fight, well, let's just say that these mutants that are standing in front of him may give him some weird flashbacks, but they do not change what Izuku is deep inside. Izuku is a tamed monster, a leash around his neck by All For One, but at the same time, All For One has convinced him of freedom, that he is free, but he's not necessarily. But still, Izuku knows that All For One is the one that was loyal to him. So how could he ever betray his quote-unquote master? He wouldn't. He would never. Izuku begins going head-on with the likes of Endeavor, with the likes of Mirio Togata, or other known as Lemillion. And then on top of that, mutants that have similar but different powers to him. Mutants that have, well, laser eye vision to actually regeneration, storm-like powers, and many other things, etc., and so on and so forth. These powers do put up a fight, but Izuku and his powers are far greater than they can possibly imagine. With advanced quirks like regenerative powers, with his adamantium claws and the adamantium metal blending with his body, intertwined with his bones, and on top of that, with countless quirks pumping through his veins, allowing him to be something and someone else that they couldn't even possibly imagine. Let's just say this fight isn't fair. Even with the training that these so-called mutants got, it didn't matter. Izuku was so far ahead, so much so that it was complete and utter domination. The new number one hero in Endeavor would fall, and then so on and so forth. Hawks would be next. and many would fall after him. People like Mirako, people like Gang Orca, they would quickly fall to Izuku, and they could do nothing about it. The villains seem to be winning this battle and seem to be on top, and it felt as if there was no hope for the heroes. No hope at all. But hope, just that sliver, would come back when jets would begin to sound miles away, but begin to increase the sounds as they basically come in hot. The jets begin to fly in, and this right here was reinforcements that came early from the US or from America. The reason for this is that All Might is already dead and gone, and there's somebody wanting to knock on the door to make sure that this ends now. And her name is Star and Stripe. The #1 hero of America has arrived. This #1 hero of America is standing face to face with Izuku, someone that is as strong, maybe stronger than her, but at the same time, she knows things that he doesn't. She found out who he was, what he is, and exactly what she needs to do. And that is to end his life. The only way. She begins to manipulate things and makes it so that the man or the boy by the name of Izuku Midoriya would be killed if he moved an inch. In hindsight, this was a great idea. In hindsight, this was the only way that it would work. But Izuku would move forward as if nothing was happening. She was shocked. How could this be possible? How could this be occurring? But then she thinks, his regenerative powers must be that insane? She changes it. The man by the name of Izuku Midoriya, well, if he moves, his heart may stop. As she does this, setting a new order, nothing works. She begins to think that this is crazy. He must be invincible, but that's not true. Izuku's heart is stopping. Stopping, but coming back alive at the same time, as if all the quirks and every single bit of his power is reviving his heart every time it stops to shut down. This is a scary, scary aspect. But even Star and Stripe knows that this will take a sacrifice. This will take everything that she has. She allows herself basically to be killed, to the point that she then combines her own quirk with Izuku. It's odd. It's as if she set in a world order as a failsafe to stop him. As she does this, the body, or her own body and quirk, begin to basically consume Izuku, counteracting the regeneration, and on top of that, using the quirks against him. It's as if it's eroding his body over and over again. Shigaraki is watching all of this kind of in complete and utter shock, believing that maybe Izuku wasn't as strong as they believed, and it seems that he's going to fall. But just as this is occurring, just as Izuku is struggling through nightmarish amounts of pain, Izuku sees everything. Sees where he came from. Sees the people that he saved. Remembers how he got here. All his memories begin to be rushed back. All the memories that were from before begin to flood back. Was this exactly what Star and Stripe wanted to do? She read everything about Izuku, heard the things about the military, what they did to him, and what occurred, who he was, what he was. Was she attacking his quirks? Was she ripping him from the inside out? Or was she making him remember? Now this is something they won't be able to ask her, because unfortunately this took a sacrifice that would lead to her death. But when Izuku struggles back and is still alive, someone else shows up. All for One. All for One is standing there menacingly. Terrifying creature. The heroes believe it's over. For those who are alive, for those who aren't completely crippled, they look on to see that it's him. He's back, alive, well, and ready to conquer. Something terrifying, shooting shivers down everyone's spines. How could this be? How is he back? How did this happen? But nothing is said. Nothing, not even a word. But just as All For One is about to walk over to Izuku, Izuku is in front of him, appearing in front of him, slicing All For One's body into little chunks. This shocks everyone, shocks Shigaraki, but just as Shigaraki is about to do something as well, he grabs Shigaraki and drags him right in front of All For One, grabbing him by the hand as he places Shigaraki's hand on All For One's skin, forcibly forcing his quirk to activate. Izuku knows that All For One has some sort of basically regeneration, very similar to his own. But what happens when his whole body disintegrates and it begins to reject his regeneration, just like how his adamantium does within his own skin? Izuku does just this, interacting the adamantium with All For One's body, on top of using Shigaraki's own quirk against him to disintegrate All For One. The heroes watch on in awe and in complete shock. The mutants that are alive, or at least the ones that aren't completely crippled and out cold, are watching on in awe as well. Is he back? Is he the same person that they saw that saved them all those years ago? How is it even possible? What even happened for this to occur? Well, all it took was the number one hero in America to sacrifice her life to wake him up. That's what he heard. It was the wake-up call that Izuku needed to actually think on his own. Now Izuku is a different person. Izuku is no longer the tamed beast, the tamed monster that they wanted, the tamed monster that they made. He's no longer that. He is the Wolverine. He shreds through all of the villains, not knowing necessarily whose side he truly is on, but now he knows that these decisions are his own. He cuts them down in a matter of minutes. All For One officially dead and gone. Even the regenerative powers that he's gotten from Izuku weren't fully established just quite yet, so he was killed. Now what about everyone else? Well, they fall as quick as they stood. Dead and gone. The villains seem to be losing now, quickly losing this war, and that's exactly what happens. This war was far different than anyone could possibly imagine. This war was no longer hero versus villain. This was a war of a monster. Bloodshed was insane, immense, and something they wouldn't even believe. This war led to far different things in this world. For a long time, everyone believed it to be heroes versus villains, but quickly they realized that it wasn't so clear-cut. Izuku made this a reality. Izuku made them realize this, that just because they have these little labels, a label of a hero, a label of a villain, doesn't mean that to be true. Izuku is no villain. Izuku is no hero. Izuku is a monster. The Wolverine has arrived, has slayed everything that he believed to be, or believed that needed to be done. And in a way, quote unquote, the heroes won. But did they really? They lost so many, so quickly. And well, how can you punish Izuku Midoriya? How can you punish the Wolverine when you couldn't even stop him in the first place? The war calms down, the sun begins to shine once again, but on a day like this, well, let's just say it doesn't feel very, well, sunny. A dark cloud over their own heads begins to swell. How could they let this occur? Hero society has been put in a dark place. A dent, in fact. Maybe All For One did succeed. Maybe All For One may not have the control that he wanted, but he did send ripples down Hero Society forever. He changed Hero Society forever. Now everyone will question, what is a hero? What is a villain? And are we all just monsters? With that said, the rest of society may change forever, but that is a story for another day. So I hope y'all enjoyed. And if you did, make sure to leave a like, make sure to leave a sub, and make sure to leave a comment down below. And I hope y'all enjoyed What If Deku Was Wolverine. And I know this was definitely a different spin on the What If Deku Was Wolverine than you probably were thinking. He's not necessarily the Wolverine maybe you know in the comics and stuff like that, but very similar. I kind of adapted it to My Hero Academia, as y'all could tell, and I've said it before. That's what my plan was. As always, though, I hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.